Get started.
Hello and welcome to the first ever BJJ Asia podcast. My name is Devash and today joining me is Judo superstar and one of the most accomplished judokas from Thailand, Achilleus Ralli, and he's here to talk about the jiu-jitsu scene in the region and also what he's got planned out. So Achilleus, thank you for being here with us, and for those who don't know you, could you just give a quick rundown on what you've done and what you're currently doing?
Now you have to do that again.
I was trying to...
That's fine.
That was good again. But yeah, my name's Achilles. I'm half Greek, half Thai. I was born and grew up in Peckham, South London, England. I moved to Greece after competing with the national junior British team for 3 years, and when I was 17, from the age of 17 to 19, I was preparing for the Olympics to compete for Greece in the Athens Olympics in 2004. After not being able to compete for various political reasons, I took advantage of my Thai heritage and moved to Thailand, and I've been here, I'd say 11 years since then, which 8 of those I have been in the Thai national judo team, competing around the world in various big tournaments and whatnot. And for the last 6 of those years I was the captain of the Thai national judo team. So after retiring from judo, I'd say 4 years ago, I started doing jiu-jitsu, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and other jiu-jitsu. Basically, I want to run down on my judo background and moving into jiu-jitsu now, which much suits me because of my age and whatnot, and various other reasons, which I'm sure we're going to get into.
So jiu-jitsu is still fairly new in the region, in Thailand. I think it only took off like for the last 4 years, 5 years. So what's your take on jiu-jitsu so far?
Coffee.
Coffee interlude. Thank you all.
It's what we need. It's not what we were promised. We were promised champagne and dancers. But
Sorry, it was my birthday.
Alright. Are you having that, Devash?
Sugar Achilles.
should say no, right? Yeah, this whole sugar thing is.
We can put our logo on the wall for like a future one. And just stick it up there like a banner.
Okay.
It seems to be picking up sound well because of the 2 channels and it's up 3/4. Not good, thanks.
You want this out shot?
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
Please
it's
go
good.
ahead and enjoy your coffee and
That's all like,
discussion.
when you get the advertising.
It's like Larry King.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying, jiu-jitsu is fairly new in the region, and I think it's only been in Thailand, taking off in Thailand for the last 3 to 4 years. So what's your take? What's your local understanding on how jiu-jitsu has been growing in Thailand?
Okay, so when I started competing in international competition for Thailand about 10 years ago, there were only a few people doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in Bangkok. So as an old school judoka, like you're always in touch with various Newaza schools and teachings. Obviously because of judo, the way they've changed the rules today is it's made less time to work on the ground, which has basically turned judo into a stand-up art. You know? So when people started to practice jiu-jitsu in Bangkok, you know, it was a very foreign thing, especially to the Thais that were practicing the most similar things at the time was obviously judo. Mostly foreigners that were practicing it, and it was only until I would say 4 years ago when the Royal Thai Air Force Martial Arts Club took on this project that let me get this right, the International Jiu Jitsu Federation, which is controlled by the UAE Jiu Jitsu Federation. They've started this program, which, you know, they obviously had a target that would benefit a lot of countries and their structure in terms of, you know, educational systems and whatnot. So there were always, up until about 5 years ago, there was these two, I don't know what you want to call them, schools or just, you know, these two different groups of people that were practicing basically the same thing, but were calling it, they had different cultures and they were calling it different things. Ones were calling it Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, others were calling it Newa. So yeah, that's kind of up until now, in the past 10 years, that's what the scene has kind of been looking like in terms of the different groups. That obviously they've had some kind of history together, as anyone would. Like, I'm trying to think of a sport that examples the same thing, like, but I've always had trouble. The closest I can find maybe is Muay Thai. They have two federations, I guess.
Mm.
But one is amateur and one is professional. And it is quite similar to Jiu-Jitsu, if you want to call it, because the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community is has a strong culture, which depends on a lot of things, respect, loyalty, and whatnot. Whereas the Newaza system now is giving people of other social backgrounds a chance to practice the same sport, but through a different route, basically.
Yeah. So you obviously work with young and upcoming talent, you know, from the judo scene and also now with jiu-jitsu. What do you see a great potential for Thai grapplers, like making a splash in the big scene?
I think that born and bred in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Because I do think there are a few Thais that are born and grew up abroad that are quite successful in Jiu-Jitsu already, but if you're talking about born in Thailand, grew up in Thailand, it's very difficult for a Thai to make it through and be successful through the system and culture of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that exists, because you would have to be from a particular financial background to be able to support that lifestyle, which is why the Newaza that is practiced, which is state subsidized, gives these kids an opportunity. And I'm not saying that it's not possible. Obviously there are, I think right now, a couple of Thai brown belts, which is quite a good accomplishment, right? But like to make a stamp on the international scene, you have to be devoted to this day in, day out, basically a professional athlete. So if you don't have support for that, it's very difficult to do that. So again, coming back to Muay Thai, like I think we'll find that most of the successful athletes are the kids that are hungry and come from a particular social background where they need support, right? And they get support and they're able to completely submerge themselves into the art and not worry about anything else, just competing. So right now at this stage, there are some young Thais that are pretty good at what they do. I don't know, maybe it's a natural thing. I hate to stereotype, because some people would like to sit on the floor anyway. It's the infamous Asian squat, right? So, yeah, hopefully, within the next year or two, there'll be someone popping up on the radar. It's just like with the amateur jiu-jitsu, the Newaza it's called, it's because it's state subsidized. It's all purposefully for the benefit of the country as a whole. So even though they're going to compete in these World Jiu-Jitsu championships, they have the Asian Games, Asian Indoor Games, hopefully the SEA Games soon, which kids will be competing in